This is Wild on 7th, your favorite Wild podcast. Did you guys see this? This is unbelievable. What is that all about, Kinger?
Get in here for the real thing.
Like, let's get weird.
Maybe I blacked out trying to figure out what was going on.
Doubt, worry, fear, because that's what we're breaking the mold on here.
Welcome to Wild on 7th, presented by Pilot Games. We're here until it's here.
And welcome back. I'm in studio after a long quiet flight from Vegas in the back of the bird. I'm joined by my friend Radio Joe O'Donnell. He's at home. I got Kinger to my right. Again, we're always brought to you by our friends at Pilot Games. Well, didn't find a way to win, but with Pilot Games, you are guaranteed to win if you play. And not necessarily monetarily. Sometimes you roll the dice a little bit, but your community will always win. So, again, when you're out having a good time, grab a tablet, grab their games. Not only can you win, your community can win too. John King sniping. He just took that fly down. Yes, good stuff.
That's a good sign.
It is a good sign. How are we feeling after Game 5? What an emotional roller coaster that game was. Joe, let's start with you. I know after Game 4, you were somewhat of a mess in overtime. It happens again. How are you today?
Thanks for asking, Ryan. It's good to be here. Hello, my name is Joe, and I'm a Wild fan. I'm all right, brother. It's great to be on with you guys as always. The Wild are winning Game 6. I told you that before Game 5. I'm not coming off that horse. I have very specific predictions about Game 6, but I don't want to get into it because it'll weird Kinger out. But
now we need it.
And mad at all of it.
This prediction has given me some comfort last night, knowing that you said that. So we'll get into that today for sure.
Yeah, it was certainly an emotional roller coaster from trailing in the game twice to the way they played in the third period to Fleury coming in the third because Gustafsson was sick to the offside call that takes away what you think is the go-ahead goal and inches you closer to a 3-2 series lead. I mean, it was a gut punch. I put the GIF on Twitter today of the video where the guy's just in the squat position. He keeps getting kicked in the door repeatedly. And I felt like that was very appropriate for how the Wild and their fans should be. But I believe in this team. I believe that all year long they've had their backs to the wall and played their best. And I don't expect that anything different. Look, they had to come back home anyway. We knew there was a Game 6. Like, we knew it. So they're here now. Not a lot of time to think about. Feel sorry for yourselves. Hopefully the guys get a good night's sleep because I'm sure in Vegas with the time change and a flight out, like guys normally, as you would know, Cards don't sleep well after the game. Just to begin with, that was an emotional one. Hopefully they rest up today and they're back at it on what day of the week is it? On Thursday night and find a way to get it done.
Yeah, the Wild they've had the mantra "choose your hard" all year. I mean, still every win they're putting a puck in their new hard case trophy. What are we calling that?
Yeah, the suitcase. Did we find out how that was made?
Yeah, we found out how that was made.
Okay.
We should bring him in actually. Yeah, Rough Sanded Woodwork on Instagram. Check him out. He made it.
Oh, okay. So he outsourced it, Hartman.
Yes, they must have outsourced it. So
he's busy.
Yeah,
Busy in season.
Yeah. We'll get an exclusive on that.
Okay, I like that.
But they've chosen their hard, and let's not forget this team was 20 seconds away from not making the playoffs. So you can't count them out. And even if you look at the series right now, they're down a goal against Vegas, a team that has the most regulation wins in the NHL this year. I think the number was 46. They climb back, and they actually play well enough to take the lead and steal a game from Vegas, despite the fact they're down a goal going into the third. But Lady Luck is not on their side. Nyquist doesn't drag a foot, and they call it. And what a crazy sequence that was in and of itself, where it looked like maybe it was kicking. That's a review, I think, from the league and the referees. And then Cassidy then has time on the bench to really dial in this offside challenge. And credit to him. I mean, he stayed calm. He waited for the right moment. He made the call, and he got the answer that he wanted. But before we get into that a little bit further, the Wild are choosing their hard. And if you're in doubt and you're feeling like, oh my gosh, this, and that game felt like it couldn't have been more Minnesota like sports. Listen to Marcus Foligno today. He gets off the flight. He's got media availability, and he's not bummed at all. He's like, yeah, it's unfortunate we're this close to being able to close out the game at home, but it's not a big deal. So we've got to win Game 6. That was always going to have to be the case. That never changed. We've never wavered in that. And once that job is accomplished, it's on to Game 7, and then we're in a different spot. So I think their mentality is in a good spot, despite the fact that they've lost 2 games in overtime in succession. But Kinger, again, how are you feeling, buddy?
Yeah, I can't wait for this perspective. Just the look on Kinger's face while you were talking their cards has me excited for what's going to come next.
Well, I think we owe it to the fan base to talk about this briefly before we go into the mantra of the podcast. So I'm watching it as a fan at home. I'm not in Vegas. Broadcast starts out with Wes Walls has some new magic wall. The walls. I mean, he's going to interact with the walls. He's showing stuff. Maybe you missed it, FanDuel people, but so I'm like, okay, we've made an investment in technology. This is all good. Hannah Storm's doing a great job. Or that's not her name, is it Katie Storm?
Katie.
But I'm like, I'm feeling good.
Who's Hannah Storm?
I think that was in
NBC.
Like in the 60s.
Yeah.
I'm 51.
No, she's not the 60s. She's a national TV reporter still for sports.
So I'm feeling good. I'm telling everybody I see all day we're going to win. And I still have a lot of baggage. So LaPanta mentions early in the game that Howden, whatever his name is, scored 2 and hasn't had another point in the whole series. And I'm sitting in my chair. I'm like, why did he say that? He shouldn't have said that. That's very specific. It's just hanging out there. When we start the power play with 5 forwards, instead of being excited for a power play, the first thing I do, I turn to my daughter and go, no defenseman here. I go, these are all star players, but none of them can skate backwards. This is a little scary. They score. So I'm doing all the bad stuff. Then Hartman gets the goal. Of all the people, it's Ryan Hartman, playoff guy, tattoo, permanent ink. I jump out of my chair. I pump the fist. We got the first challenge. It's revealed that we're going to win that challenge. And then offsides, I mean, people are calling it a gut punch. It has to be referred to as the heartbreaker, right? I just can't believe it. There's scary movies that are pop-out scary, and then there's psychological thrillers that are really dark. To get the feeling of winning, to actually have it in your
90 seconds
hand.
left.
When we used to play gin with my brothers when we were kids, sometimes we would have gin, and we would wait for the other guy to do gin, and you go, oh, sorry, I already had it. And it was like the meanest thing you could do in a game. This, to feel it, to have the feeling, there was still a minute left, and to have it be Hartman, and that little trot he does afterwards, I'm like, this is like an Andrew Brunette moment. This little skip thing he's doing by the glass. Kirby puck at Game 6, let's go, and then just gone. That was sick and twisted. I just have to acknowledge that. We are choosing our hard. We're choosing the hardest. That was rough, brother. Rough. That's just the bad side. I can get into the optimism, but
how good is it going to feel on the other side?
Well, we always knew our backs weren't really to the wall. This team has shown us all year. They're not. It can't happen in 6.
Right.
That's not our kind of hard.
Right.
What kind of sandpaper are we using? I mean, this had to be sick and twisted.
It's 80 grit.
This had to be sick and twisted. So it was never going to be easy. They've shown us that all year, and I mean, we've played well. You know, this is a 52-48. They're just a little couple plays. You know, but I didn't like feeling it and having it getting taken away. That was a new experience. That'd be like icing the kicker, you know, and you make it, and then the next one you miss it. That was a new experience. That's in the Pantheon.
Yeah, and there was so much going on at that moment in the game too, where it was hard to know. Like, Joe, we're up in the press box. Were you seeing Cassidy like considering challenging that play? I kind of saw it unfolding a little bit, but I thought maybe they were going goaltender interference. I thought maybe what they were going to say is Aiden Hill was going to be able, because think about it, you got 90 seconds left in that game, and if you don't think you're going to get one, what's the big deal? You sell out, you challenge any way you can. And I thought they were maybe going goaltender interference. I was not on the fact that it was offsides at all. And I thought maybe as Hartman was flying through the crease, he hits Aiden Hill, and that helps propel the puck into the back of the net. But I didn't see the offsides challenge coming at all.
I didn't either. And to be honest, it was as soon as they challenged it, my thought was, oh no. Like, I looked at it differently, Carts. I looked at it like they obviously saw something. A lot of times with these challenges, like especially for the offside, the coaches are almost always spot on. I'd say that has the highest percentage of being overturned, right? Like the goaltender stuff, and John Hines talked about today, is like there's that gray area. Did the goalie get a chance to reset? Was he really bumped? Did it affect his ability to make the save? And on the other hand, you get an offside where if there's daylight there or the puck's not over the line completely, like it's offside. So as soon as they challenged it, I thought to myself, this is not good. They wouldn't risk putting themselves shorthanded unless I thought they were completely sure. Turns out they were right, and you got to turn the page, man. It's a tough pill to swallow. But again, I keep coming back to they were going to play Game 6 anyway. They were coming back home anyway. Now they just got to win 2 more instead of 1, and that's the way they have to approach it.
Look at the way that this series is played out. Vegas wins their game 1. Wild get their game 2. Game 3, the Wild get breaks from the referees where they miss the icing call. Boldy scores. They get a little bit of lady luck where it's off of Kaprizov into the net with like a second left in the period, and things are just going their way. And Vegas doubles down, says it's going to be our turn. They go 2 periods, actually. We'll have to get into this, where the Vegas Stars were just silent. You didn't see him, didn't notice him for 3 games, 2 periods. Cassidy finally, despite the fact he didn't want the group to think that he was panicking, changing things up, he went with his gut. He changes it with 20 minutes to go. Each group ends up getting a point, but they get their luck. It's a missed call. The offside on Brazeau, where if he scores that, I think the game's likely iced. Go down the other way, then Hurdle scores on a bank play. Missed call maybe from the referee on the tackle from Hurdle. So long story short, both teams win a game. Both teams get help from the referees and a little bit of luck to win a game. And now we come into this game. Cassidy has challenged, and he didn't challenge in Game 4 because he felt, all right, well, we were up 3-2. They score on the Spurgeon goal. That ties it up. It's close for goaltender interference, but I don't want to go shorthanded and let this game get away from us because all of a sudden this crowd who's in the game will be going bonkers. Their power play jumps on the ice. If they buzz, this could be a 2-goal swing. I'll just take my medicine, 3-3 game, and I like the way our team is playing. And right now, he's had lady luck on his side when it comes to challenges because he nailed the offside too. So 2 correct choices from Cassidy on when to challenge, when not to challenge. And maybe that's one of the things that's the difference maker right now. Vegas is up 3-2.
Dude, the other thing I keep coming back to are the bounces, to your point. Like Zuccarello, the puck never settles down. He comes out of the box, has the breakaway, puck jumps over his tape. Trenyon wide open in front. Goes to stick handle, has Hill down and out, fumbles it to the corner. Spurgeon hit the post. Foligno hit the post. Again, this is why I'm so eerily confident for Game 6. I feel like the Wild are going to get a bounce. They're going to get one off somebody's backside and in the back of the net. They're going to get a call to go their way. They're going to get a remarkable save. Like they're due. They're due. And I really, really feel like this team and their mentality and their makeup, I think Gus is going to be outstanding, and I think they're going to win this hockey game.
Yeah, that's a big one to how Gus will respond, how ill he actually is, and if he can get back in time because travel's not easy. Maybe he had a rough night last night, and then you go today. Somewhat early game tomorrow, 6:30, so I think their day is going to be a little bit different and how they break that up. But, yeah, I think we should spend some time on goaltending, though, because Aiden Hill, to your point where I was watching the game, and it felt like every shot the Wild took had a chance to go in, where there was a bunch where and this is normal hockey where teams are shooting it against Gus, and there's like no worry. Like, like it's not going in. There was just like this confidence, but there's this like almost like, man, anything could go in on Hill. Like, you don't know. Don't pass up a shot. But
I mean, as I've been pulling myself out of the sewer with all of the trauma of last night's game, that's one of the things that's given me the most hope. This goaltender has not looked good all series. I mean, he's got to be wearing dark underwear because there's skid marks everywhere. I mean, every puck, it's just. And by the way, if you just go hard to the dot and cut, I mean, if he's moving, whether you're going short side like Boldy did or sliding it between his legs, I mean, I don't know how we can get more pucks on net. You know, we only had the one game where there was kind of a heavy shot count, but I completely agree with you, Karts. Just shoot the puck at this guy. You know, the pinata is ready to burst open in St. Paul. I mean, he is not – there's never been a stretch really where I ever was scared of their goaltender. And that's such a huge deal in a series. Like, you should be able – if you have a better goalie and your stars are playing as well.
Yeah, if your stars are better and your goalie's better, you should win that series.
And so it's coming down really to depth scoring at this point a little bit.
Or the other scary part is it's coming down to Vegas' stars are starting to even out the series.
They're waking up. Last night was the first time we were in the blender a few times. Like, these guys are here now.
But keep an eye on this when it comes to Aiden Hill. I think the knock on him as a goaltender is that he can play, but if you get him moving side to side, he doesn't have great feet on his skates.
If you get him moving, there's as many holes as a golf course. I mean, it's there.
The Kaprizov goal, that pass goes from high up in the zone all the way across diagonal down to Kaprizov, and it's a slow reaction from Aiden Hill, and then it's kind of unorthodox how he gets over there. Like, you can almost close your eyes and see every other goaltender kind of in their butterfly up with the chest, blocking it hands down, and it's somewhat of a routine save for them. Now, no save is routine where the goaltender has to move laterally, and he's got to move two directions, left to right, and I suppose north to south, back towards the post, so that makes it a little challenging. But when you force Aiden Hill to have to move and use his feet like that, that's when you can find holes in him. And let's go back to the first couple of games where the Wild were all over 5-hole on Aiden Hill. What they did attack were his feet, and they're shooting in spots where if he's not good and he has to move and it's down by the feet, he struggles with it a little bit. And to your point, I think that should give the Wild hope. Like, the goaltender's still shaky, and despite the fact that Vegas has had guys that have had slow starts to the series, and some of them have gotten better, I wouldn't put Aiden Hill in that camp. Eichel's gotten better, Stone has gotten better, Barbashev got the OT winner, but Hill has not, from game 1 to game 5, in my opinion, gotten any better. Do you see the same, Joe?
I mean, I thought in game 4, after giving up 2 goals on 7 shots, and I wondered if he'd even continue game 4. I thought he was at his best later in game 4. And in overtime, the Wild had 10 shots, right? They could easily won that game. That save on Eriksson in the goal crease, I still don't know how he kept it out. We talked about that last pod. Other than that, I haven't been impressed with him at all. And again, to Kinger's point, like, it's a big reason why I'm still very much confident in game 6, because I think the Wild can get 3 goals. Like, I really do. This is a team. Minnesota had the fewest goals per game of any playoff team. They had the 3rd fewest shots per game of any playoff team. Only they and the Montreal Canadiens had a negative goal differential and made the postseason. Yeah. But here we are, where goal scoring, knock on wood, hasn't been a struggle yet for Minnesota. I know they only got 2 in game 5, but it never felt like they were struggling, right? And we're talking about finishing with just 22 shots again. So his save percentage is what it is. It's like .860 for the series. That's not going to win you many playoff series. So
no, or
I feel like, yeah. And so and that's why, again, I feel like Minnesota, maybe they get one on the power play. You know, Boldy's been red hot. Like, that could be 2 goals right there in this game. You get any type of depth scoring, and we've seen that in the series, or maybe a defenseman scores one for you, which the Wild could surely need. I think Spurgeon's the only guy in the series with a goal for Minnesota from the back end. Like, now you're at 3, and I really believe that could be the answer to forcing this to game 7 is pucks to the net, a good game from Gus, and just play with that same mindset. Again, the Wild haven't been thoroughly outplayed in any game. Like, had they been boat race last night 5-1, I might be like, that's a wrap. It just hasn't happened yet. Yeah. They've been right there every single game, and that's got to be reassuring for them as they head back home.
Yeah, a lot of that is goaltending. Let me roll back the numbers on Aiden Hill because his numbers playoff-wise, and this is probably why Cassidy just keeps rolling them out there without reservation. But 14-8 in the playoffs and 921 combined in the playoffs, despite the fact over the last 5 games he's got an 860. So he's done a good job. 2.31 goals against. And Vegas, Joe, this is a fancy stat. 41 straight playoff games where Vegas has scored 3 goals in a row that they've won.
So you win if you're a 2-3-1.
You almost have to keep Vegas to 2 goals if you're going to win. And Gustafsson was on path to do that. And or actually, Wild break that streak in Game 4 if they score in overtime. But yeah, he's the guy to be beat, certainly. And I want to comment quick, too, on your Jared Spurgeon goal. The Wild are 16th in scoring from defense, or at least they were going into Game 5.
So bizarre.
Yeah, they had 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 total points, and they were in 16th by a significant margin. And you look at it, the shot totals for them, I think were healthy 1 game, maybe 1.5 games, but for the most part, they've been low. And I think the Wild came back here. They had a practice, and they run a drill where they get the D jumping up in the play. They want to add a man to the rush, and I think they did it early. But Vegas it's either the quick up or their ability to make plays east to west in the neutral zone that has the defense kind of like not wanting to get up in the play and be involved. But when they are, they're effective. And I think at some point, too, you just maybe have to unleash them and say, go get it. But yeah, pretty remarkable, though, for a team, and we've touched on this on the podcast, through December, into December, when the Wild were nipping at Winnipeg's heels for best in the West, they were a top 5 team in terms of scoring by defense, and that's not just assists. That was Jake Middleton up in the play, making smooth moves, shooting the puck, getting it to the net. We haven't seen those types of plays in the offensive zone, and maybe some of that's Vegas, maybe some of that's their D, but the Wild have to find a way to make that zone bigger, get the D involved, jump up in the rush, and try to find a way to get more offense. Because I think the forwards are getting you to your 2. So if you're going to beat Vegas, you got to get to 3, maybe 4, it sounds like. And
yeah,
if they're going to do that, the forwards are getting them 2, maybe 3. You need the 4th. The D have to be involved.
And the rebounds, guys. I mean, Bogosian had a great look last night in Game 5 on a rebound and just missed. And like, it's just
down.
It's just like there are pucks sitting in that blue paint. John Hines told us, Karch, I mean, you were there, like, you got to get to the goal crease because he's not kicking out a lot of big rebounds, although he has. But it seems like more the numbers tell you he's dropping the puck down in front of him. So hits him and it's right in the goal crease as opposed to hitting him and it goes to the high slot more often than not in this series. So get to the net, filter pucks there, and get a greasy one or two. They're really due for one of those. Like the one that went off Kaprizov's midsection, at the end of the second period, you said Hartman throws the puck to the net in Game 3. Like they need a goal like that in Game 6, I really believe, to keep on track with trying to get to those 3 or 4 goals and win the game.
This is a tactical question. Carts maybe 5-hole was a big thing early on, and it's included in this play. But throughout this series, you've seen these bum rush goals where the player's starting on the side, cutting to the net, power forward move. Hartman's
like Boldy goal.
Boldy scored that way last night. Hartman's done it a bunch of times. He hasn't scored on every single one of them. Moose might have had one that way. It's because there's 2 things that happen. Either there's a rebound sitting there, like Joe just said. You can go 5-hole. You can put it in one of the other spots, like where he's sliding that way, put it back the other way like Boldy did. But it seems like with our skating, whether that's 97, Faber can get to the net when he wants to. You saw Spurgeon with the wraparound. I mean, to me, that's just there. If you can get up the ice and just commit to going to the net, it's almost like basketball. It's like go to the lane, get fouled, get your free throws. Like that play is there. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how you work that into your game plan, but if you can get them going side to side, either you're going to score or there's going to be a puck sitting right in front.
What I think so you can look at the Boldy goal, and I think you can learn a couple of things from it. Even Hartman, so to some degree, but But the Boldy goal was different. What they were able to do is move the puck from east to west in the neutral zone. And then Boldy caught it with speed. Now, Vegas's defense are big, but they're not fast. And if you make them turn, and the Wild early on in games 1 and 2 made them turn by putting the puck in the corner and going and finishing their hits. But if you can get through clean and make a play, the D don't turn that well. Boldy actually could have scored just before that, or Zuccarello on the play just before he scored doing the exact same thing. He had Pietrangelo on his back hip twice. And then it was actually Pietrangelo, too, that Hartman, he couldn't accept Hartman's speed, so he tried to check him off to Barbashev, and that's why Hartman was able to take it to the middle of the ice and make a play. But I think you're absolutely right. Take the puck right to the cage, and if you have any type of speed, Vegas's defense can't handle it.
You might get a penalty, you might score, you might have a rebound. And because on the breakaways, whether it's Yak or Zuki, they were coming on him straight on. And I know the puck was bouncing and different things happened, but if it's just this movement, this side-to-side movement with him. And I don't think it has to be a bunch of passes. It doesn't have to be trying to pass the puck into the net. Like we had some great passing plays game 1. I think it's a power move.
Yeah, I think we overpassed in game 5 at times where you just could have simplified. Back to, like, if you have a goaltender that's struggling like Hill is, anything can go in. Just keep shooting it. But I think Eriksson Ek, when he drew the penalty on Waugh overtime game 4, was a very similar play where he drove that one to the net. But any of these power moves where they're driving, Vegas has really struggled with it. And there's another area that Vegas struggles, and I think it's in their D-zone coverage, where if you can get like a switch or get possession behind Aiden Hill, so he's got to look over his shoulders a little bit, both D kind of hold on the post and they want to go get behind the net. That's when the slot kind of opens up. So if the Wild can find a way to utilize the back of the net on the cycle, because coming out of the corners right now, they're not creating a lot off the cycle. I think they've got to do it right behind the net, because that's a pinch point for Vegas's structure where both D have their boots kind of facing straight towards the wall, not sideways, not taking lanes away. There's actually passes through them. You can get something to the slot, and if you outnumber them there, that's when you're getting it.
It's the old Zuki Kirill sitting in the office playing catch.
Yeah,
like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
where
there's not going to be that much time 5-on-5, so you have to do it quick. But think of Trennian. Trennian makes that hit on Haig, and then all of a sudden he goes to the weak side, comes out from behind the net, throws it to Rossi in front. They just don't make their adjustments and reads, and it's actually similar to Howden's goal. The Wild struggled with it too. It was right in that same spot where they're trying to figure out how we check off our guys and get them covered. If you make a quick boom play, you get a good look on it.
No, I love that. I think that's a great call. I mean, I think the thing with this, as far as optimism, this playoff series does feel different. And we talked about how the past really has nothing to do with this year or this year's team, besides the psyche, maybe, of the fan base and the media. But I mean, God, they're right in it. I think that's why it's hurt so much, is it's like paper cuts, man. I mean, it's just these fine, everything's under a microscope in the playoffs, right? So you end up talking about 4 plays, and they're just bounces. I mean, it's crazy. But I do see between Hines and Moose, and the group seems to have, they just feel different. And I know we've been saying that till we're blue in the face, but there's something that feels different.
I think it's third periods too. Like, they're never out. Like, you go back to game, 81 in Vancouver, where they have to win down 2 goals. They tie it up. They find a way to win, and down a goal, third period, game 82, 20 seconds left. Last game, 5, they're down a goal. They score 2 in the third. Like, it's hard. They're choosing they're choosing a real version of hard, but they're different because they're not just rolling over and they're not just getting frustrated. And I think there's a couple other things I'd like to see come back in game 6 is physicality, but like a conservative physicality where they're putting the puck in the zone and they're hitting. They're running the Vegas D, and the D aren't able to get up into the ice, and they're not kind of coming unhinged and letting the frustration show, and then going to the penalty box a little bit. So I think they need that physicality to show back up. And with that, I think they have a little bit of moxie. They've had some good performances too. Kaprizov, after he scores that goal in 5 last night, the bat signal was out, the pad was out, and it was like, man, this could be one of those Kaprizov kind of nights where he just takes over. And if it's he versus Eichel, I think you're taking Kaprizov every single game. But the physicality started to get or be in the wrong type of way.
And then he's off the ice.
Then he's off the ice for too long. Then his rhythm's off.
His hair wasn't messy anymore.
Yeah, it's dry.
He had time to put it in his helmet. And no, and how about the composure? The one thing that was great when they gave up the shorty, even I had the presence of mind in my living room to be like, still a power play, and to go get that goal back. I think that was huge. Because that was a gut punch with the shorty, but to still score on the power play, that this team, I mean, now the back's against the wall. We've always said this is when they feel most comfortable. Like, we're fully back against the wall. So I think they'll play that way tomorrow night.
Yeah, how about the emotional roller coaster though that the playoff hockey is? Just this podcast and the vibe alone that we've had. So
it's exhausting.
Game 3, it was we're high stepping. Game 4, we're all right. We're good. Game 5, all right, guys, we got a chance. Let's stick with it. Stay positive, right? Just an emotional roller coaster.
I've gotten so many texts of people like, literally the couch therapy fan thing you're talking about. Like, I'm down for it with my son. Like, people are like, yeah, we need to seance or get over this. And I think the only way to get over it is to change the script. And the one thing I will say about the Hartman goal, to feel it, there's got to be a positive to having felt it. Like, it's like you there's more. You know what it feels like. It's like you died and went to heaven for 5 seconds. And I don't know, there was something, it was like the perfect script, all of it. And then, to get the challenge. But I'm still bullish on the group and coming back home. And the guys are saying the right thing. I do think they're different, and they'll have a chance to prove it.
You still bullish on Cub Pub Burgers?
I am. Actually, it's going to get Tally's opens tomorrow. So, I'm going to have to get some Cub Pub Burgers, a little jalapeno, some cheese. Don't know where I'm watching. Don't know if I'm going or not. But I will head over to Cub, get everything I need. Neighborhood grocer. Big fan of the pod and sports in this town, from Homer Hankies to PJ Flex headset. Cub Foods. How are you going to construct your Game 6 evening?
Yeah, well, I'm going to construct Game 6 with our friends at Wild Construction. Thanks for them for sponsoring the podcast throughout the year. Also, our friends at Jimmy's. But it is time for Aquarius Home Services and their customer appreciation open house. It's a big blowout here. They've got great deals on water treatment systems, electrical, generators, you name it. If your house needs it, they've got it. So it's a huge 3-day sale. They've got a pig roast. They've got great activations, tons of fun. Make sure you get there. I go get my filters. I get some food. I have a good time. You really can't beat it. Great deals too. 30% off on heating and cooling systems, on water treatment systems. 0% interest on some of these things too. So it's the best time of year to get out there. They're in Little Canada off of 694, right behind Dock 86. This Friday, Saturday, Sunday, get there. Aquarius Home Services, earning the right to be recommended.
Good work. Can we talk? I have this thought on Mr. Booyam. I hope he's back in the lineup tomorrow night. And it's not even about the player or the reason. I think in some ways it's a symbol of how the fan base thinks, right? The reason he wouldn't play is maybe you're worried that something bad could happen. Okay. Wild fans are really good at doing that. We've got a masters in that. But he's a player where there's a possibility that something great could happen.
Yeah.
And in some sick way, this little subplot with Zeev to me is almost like potentially the rudder on the boat to change our course. we're talking about defense needing to chip in and contribute offensively. Power play. I just hope he's back in the lineup, and because symbolically, to me, it says, hey, we're bringing the kid because he might do something special, versus we're not playing the kid because he might make a mistake. I think those are very dramatic differences in psychology, and I would prefer to have the foot on the gas and just say, hey, make a play, brother. Get us to 3, get us to 4, help us do that, versus you might make a mistake. I don't want any more of that. I just want to play offense, gas, only gas. Go down swinging, no backwards K. Let's go.
So, Joe, I think this is a great time. If you go ahead and finish on Zeev, but after tag on this, because I'm curious your thoughts. You thought there's no way Wild are losing Game 6 at home. I need some of this right now. Let me have it.
All right, I'm going to jump right there. And I got one other X factor for you. Like, this could be the last game ever for Marc-Andre Fleury. For the first time, we can officially say that, right? Even though he's not going to play, we don't expect, right, if Gus is feeling better. But, like, I just know that it's been a rallying cry for this team all year long. We've heard that. And I really, really think that because of that, like, maybe I'm crazy, Cards, but in that locker room, they know that. I don't see a way that they don't figure it out and find a way to get it done. I don't know, man.
At home.
Yeah,
and that hits harder at home than it does in Vegas Game 7.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, after Game 4, I pulled in my driveway. I was rattled about Game 4, losing it overtime. And I was like, they're not losing at home in Game 6. They're not going to let the fans down. They played too well in this series. So if you want the full manifestation,
show us.
It's been a long week. Show us. You nail that word.
Put on your wizard hat and give us the slow roll striptease here. What are you seeing tomorrow night?
Here's the deal. It's a 36 save shutout by Gustafsson. They win 4-0. Boldy hat trick into the empty net.
Wow.
So many predictions.
That is so specific.
So great too. How many saves shut out?
In the first 36. If Vegas scores in the first shift, look for me hanging from the Al Shaver press box.
Oh my God! You had that thing holstered. That's just a full
Boldy empty net
for the Hattie.
4-0, 36 save.
Yeah, as last night ended and today materialized and going to sleep last night, I fully talked myself into a 4-0 shutout win in Game 6. Gus is spectacular. They got a weather storm early. Let me add that. Vegas
so this is Gus's Michael Jordan moment. This bounce back, sick, doesn't matter.
Absolutely. Veteran team in Vegas smells blood in the water. They come for the kill shot early. The Wild going to stave it off. Gus makes some saves. Maybe there's a PK in there. They find a way to get out of the first few minutes with Vegas fully trying to eliminate the Wild. And then from there, it's all Gus bus and the Wild win 4-rip.
Dude, I like the Boldy hat trick call too, because how great has that guy been this series?
He's been unbelievable. He's been unbelievable.
He's the guy that they've wanted him to be.
He looked...
Maybe more.
He looked very serious today. You know, he kind of looked like somebody had kicked his dog, if I'm being honest. I'm pulling back the curtain here for you fans. Like we walk around these guys. We're on the plane with them. We're on not in the bus. We're in the hotel with them, whatever. And he had a look like he wasn't in a good spot. And I think he's going to channel that and turn it into, they're very frustrated, right? They're very disappointed. They probably feel like it was ripped out from underneath them. But I don't think there's any quit in this team. I don't think there's any feeling sorry for themselves once they turn the page. I think they're ready. They will be ready for Game 6. I think you talked about Foligno's kind of personality today in the media when the team flew back to MSP. Like he was almost, you would have thought the team was winning 3-2, which is crazy, but that's like how upbeat he was. And I really believe that their leadership will have them together. They'll be ready to play. Vegas will make a push early. Gus Bus locks it down. And I'm telling you, man, they're going to win this hockey game. I might look like the biggest idiot when it's all said and done. You can throw shade. You can clip it. You can post it on Twitter. Tell me I'm a moron. Tell me this is what happens, Minnesota sports, blah, blah, blah. I ain't buying it. I'm not buying it. They are going to find a way to force this thing back to Vegas. I said from the start of the series, if the Wild are going to win this thing, it's going to be in 7. I'm not changing that tune. Vegas is too good to beat them in 5 or beat them in.
Oh, that was so good.
That was good.
That was just
It made me feel.
I was just listening. I felt like I had a thumb in
drew a
my mouth,
bath.
and I was
I
just
was in
getting
the
comfortable. I had a blankie. I was tickling my cheek. Like I was buying into all that.
At least a heating pad if I wasn't in a bathtub. That was. I can see it. I'm just like, that's now the script.
Well, now I that got me thinking too, because now this is, well, it's a different series, but they had Vegas and it went to 7. What was that? 3 years ago?
2021.
Yeah.
Oh, he's back, baby. He's back.
You should have just
Yeah.
dropped the mic right there, and that should. I mean, that. I almost don't want you to say anything else.
Bad karma, bad sign that after I got done the rant, you guys were telling me how good it sounded. Then all of a sudden you were frozen and I was off the call. Like, oh, we're screwed.
Yeah, we went back to Vegas that year though too.
And for 7, but the difference was Fleury was on that bench, right? And did he play Game 7 that year? I don't fully recall, but now he's on the Wild's bench, and crazier things have happened. But I think we can cut Joel loose. He might be having some technical difficulties, so
I just want to thank him for all of the leather couchers, myself included. Whatever you just painted on the canvas, like I'm in. I'm going to bring one of those clickers people have at the golf and just keep track of the 36 saves and just be like, this is what's happening. I'm just filling in. It's paint by numbers. We already read the last page. So let's just see what happens until we get there.
yeah. Gus also has unbelievable numbers, so I'd take the over on that if you have to, because Gus has unbelievable numbers when he stops, like 41 plus. But Joe, appreciate you, man. We'll let you get on with your evening. Thank you for that leather couch session. I feel
Thanks,
like
guys.
I feel like with all those baskets and everything back there, you brought me into your house. You let me lay on your leather sofa. You told me what I needed to hear, and I'm leaving feeling better about it.
I really appreciate both of you having me on all year. Let's hope there's more podcast epis that I can be a part of. Apparently, I need to pay my Wi-Fi bill because it keeps glitching on me here. It's probably a perfect time to just hit the eject button. Go Wild. Love you guys. Kinger, text me your bingo card for Game 6, please. And
Well, we don't need a bingo card. You just painted a Monet.
Yeah.
I'm not going to even compete with that. I mean, that's pretty damn specific. We got the score. We got the saves, and we got a hat trick. That's your.
And we got
bingo
the number
card.
1 star. You got it.
That's pretty good.
All right. See you guys.
Later. So the Cassidy, I just want to touch on this a little bit. So he shuffles the lines, and he breaks up Eichel, Stone, Barbashev, waits, what is that, 9, 10, 11 periods to do it. And it pays dividends in period 12, and Vegas ends up winning Game 4, ties the series up, they go home. But what he did is he put something together that hasn't been together, and it was Eichel and Karlsson. I think in the past, Karlsson has played in 400-plus games with Vegas, 11 on the wing. But Cassidy had seen something he liked in Karlsson's game, which I have to give I'll support Cassidy. Karlsson, I think, was their best player through the first 3 games, at least the most noticeable player in terms of skating and moving. And if he was able to drag Eichel into the fight a little bit, and Cassidy saw that, he went with it. But I think Cassidy also likes this for a second reason, and it's that he now has 2 centers, and his best defensive centerman, who is William Karlsson, is now alongside Jack Eichel. So now you have 2 centermen that read and think like centermen, offensively and defensively on the ice. And at home in Vegas, they were able to get the hard match. I found that also intriguing, that Cassidy wanted that group out there against the Kaprizov line. And Kaprizov and those guys, they do end up cashing in, but they had to make kind of spectacular plays and off changes and good matchups to get free from that group. But on home ice, I don't think that Cassidy and Hines, it'll be something to watch if he's able to get Kaprizov, Boldy, and Eriksson Ek away from Karlsson and Eichel, so to speak, because that line looked a lot different. And for whatever reason, Eichel came to life. That guy all of a sudden started winning battles, holding on to pucks, skating. Like, didn't he look like a different player?
Yeah, and he irritates the fan base.
Is it not just me?
Oh my God. I have so many people texting me going, why do I hate Jack Eichel so much? And then they all have this Four Nations confusion where they're
like where they kind of love him.
He was great in the Four Nations.
When he's our guy, we like him.
But like there's something about the way he plays. It's like he's got a little poodle in him or something. It just bothers people, especially Minnesotans. I've been hearing that a lot. You're not alone. But hey, I want to ask you on the lines. So Boldy scored, I believe, when he split up Kirill and Boldy. The power play goal was the first goal. So when they are on home ice, last change, Game 6, do you think he goes this all-star game scenario where you got Ek, Boldy, Kirill, Brodin, Faber against their top 5 guys? Or do you think you're going to see Kirill, Hartman, Zuki, and Ek, Boldy, JoJo? Or like, do you think he splits them?
Yeah.
Or he keeps them loaded?
Good question. And I think it's a big decision. I think the series might hinge on it. I think the series might hinge on it. If it's me, I split it.
Mm-hmm, me too.
I split it, and I think I keep Boldy with Eriksson Ek and maybe give him like a Johansson, go back, roll it back. I might go Hartman, Zuccarello, and Kaprizov.
I would too.
And those are your top 2 lines. And then you might roll it out even further and somehow get Trenyan and Marcus Foligno on the same line. Just have 2 guys that just straight crush, and
maybe Vinny pops in with them.
Yeah, and I don't know what that leaves. I'm just thinking off the top of my head, like.
Well, then you'd have like Rossi, Goudreau, and somebody in the third or whatever. But I think you're right. The Zuki Kirill thing to me is, I don't know. I don't know why it's peanut butter and jelly. I just don't know why that's not a carrot beyond the power play.
And the other thing is that I think there was chemistry. We'll call it chemistry, but connection between Kaprizov and Boldy in games 1 and 2. We haven't seen it as much the last couple of games. And whether that's checking, whether it's defense or systematic or intelligence from the Knights, I'm not sure off the top of my head, but we haven't seen them connect. They've been scoring. They've been making plays. Kaprizov was on the power play. Boldy's was on a pass from Eriksson Ek, so Kaprizov wasn't in that play. But each guy might be able to spark and be a catalyst for their own line now. I think individually, they both could be playing well enough where they could be not the tandem, but the guy. So you all of a sudden have 2 lines now that could be going, where right now what it feels like is we're waiting for the top line to cash in, maybe draw a power play, get on the man advantage, score a goal, and then we're waiting for the 4th line or somebody to chip in a goal, right?
And it's just harder that way.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I think Boldy's got his bat suit. He's not Robin.
No, he's his own driver now.
Yeah, so let's split
like a
those
new thing.
guys up.
There's supplementary guys and there's drivers. They're both drive and play.
And then, God, get to 4. I feel like your path to 4 is more likely if you split them up.
Yeah.
I think you get 2 together, but then you don't know. I mean, you're going to get a depth goal?
Maybe, and that's what you're banking on.
Maybe, but we haven't seen a lot of it, So I don't know. I would split them and come at them in waves. Yeah. You got the last change.
Hartman's been good, man. Roll it back. Roll it back to when he had 34, Zuki, Kirill, and just what sells it for me is on the goal that was taken away. Watch Hartman grab that puck, and he's not looking around. He gets up the ice. He knows, like, it's pace. I'm going to the net, and he's just dialed and focused right now too. And when he plays with those guys, he can make an extra pass and the play that's kind of special and can finish. And the other thing, so let's go back to Andy Ness when
Yeah, when he was getting bag skated on suspension.
Andy Ness went through every goal, and they found out he's not necessarily the best at the snot bubble, the Eriksson Ek area. He's the next layer above.
Further away.
And that's what Vegas kind of gives up a little bit, is that little further away. So if you get two guys like Zuccarello and Kaprizov that can make plays to the slot, put it on the tape, Ryan Hartman's the kind of guy that can score from that spot. And if those guys are shooters and Hartman's moving through that space like he tends to do from time to time, now that's where a rebound that Aiden Hill kicks out. And Joe made a good point. He's right. Aiden Hill's been kicking rebounds out right at his feet, and those ones are the ones that I think you have the best chance to score on if you get to them, which is true. But he has been kicking rebounds out, or the Vegas D have been fronting shots, blocking where they're dropping in that second layer in the slot, and those are the kinds of ones that a guy like Hartman might be able to get to.
No, I think that would be great. What did you think of Hartsy's little toe tap high step celebration? Was that not? I know it didn't count, but it just had all the feelings of a moment. I mean, he's just in the zone right now.
Right.
And
Playoff guy.
God, I mean, and I got to say, all the people that just were like, just turned on this guy with the suspension, man. I mean, talk about just eating your lunch right now. I mean, he's everything you need at this time of year.
Yeah, he's changed the tune. That's why we love sports too. Because it's also what have you done for me lately? Like Tiger Woods has his hiccups, but the guy comes back, he wins. We love him still, you know? And that's Ryan Hartman. Had a hiccup, comes back, he's playing when it matters the most. It's inspiring, and we love him again, right? Am I wrong in that? Like that's what's terrific about sports is like you stick with it, you keep grinding, you have your moment. Everybody can relate to that.
No, it was great. So how the lines and the 5 feet from the bubble, great. How would you do the D? It seems like we're getting a lot of shots blocked
from RD.
From RD. I don't know if they're not shimmy shaking enough. You do see them dropping down a little bit, but they tend to get stuck behind the net and maybe throw it off the side of the cage. Have you seen anything tactically where you could make a couple adjustments to get the defense more involved in the offense?
I think there's a lot of things that you could try to do. Like maybe you just say to your D, hey, their D are fronting. They're blocking a lot of these. We're not getting them through. Or when we're trying to get them through, their wingers are in good spots and they're blocking them too. So we're kind of missing our spots. Whip it wide of the net. And then just know that your net front guy is going to purposefully peel off to get those pucks behind the net. Now you've set up your play behind the net.
They drop down, then the D's open.
Then you pop it back. Then it's a no look back to the slot and just know like, okay, we're going to try a couple of hopers here and we'll see what happens. Like, but if everybody's on the same page, again, that's how you play fast. That's how you play connected, how everybody likes to call that now. Like, all right, D, we're having a hard time getting our shots through to the net. Let's purposely shoot wide. Let's hit off the yellow dasher. Let's get it off the back end, the backside of the net. Make sure our guys are aware first so that they're peeling off, grabbing that puck. We get to it, we have possession, and then things start to break down. It's a different philosophy, a different strategy, but it could be one that's fruitful.
I love the old school coaching stuff like that too. Even with this power move, I mean, just tell them, hey, get your chin straps one level tighter because I'm expecting you guys to go to the net tonight. You know, if there's not somewhere in this broadcast a clip of one of our forwards in the net, you know, because they got pushed into the net or that's where it is. That's where the meal is being served. So go there. We got to have defense chipping in. We got to get him moving laterally, and don't be afraid to go to the net.
They need to, and I think they need to prioritize scoring too. So playoffs come down to like little plays, and you have to be perfect. Think about the inch from Nyquist, a game of inches. He's an inch offsides, and they're up 3-2, right? That's not an issue if you score more, you know. And the OT goal, lots of pressure when you've only got 2 goals that you know you're stuck in D zone coverage and you're making these reads and you're in doubt from time to time and you're trying to be perfect. It's hard to be perfect. So I think they need to prioritize scoring, and so much of playoff hockey is keeping the puck out of your net. But I think at times too, you got to be like, let's open this thing up and try to score. I think they're kind of in that spot right now. Like they might get 2 with the lines, the things they're rolling out right now, but 2's not enough. Vegas is getting to 3, so you have to find a way to beat them.
Let's get to 4.
4.
4 would be good.
4,
What do you think they do lineup-wise? Do you think I was hearing people on the radio talking about 7D, less forwards, double shift, some of the big boys. Do you think you see a lineup change tomorrow?
I think Hines gave a vote of confidence to Nyquist, which I think everybody's calling for his head. Like, everybody makes that mistake. That's a hard one to call for. Maybe Zeev goes back in because
at home.
Yeah, well, they're at home. Power play gave up a 5-forward goal against, and then they ended up rolling out Spurgeon for the power plays in the second half of power plays going forward. So maybe they put Zeev out there just for that. And then up front, I don't know. I think what would be the obvious one? Maybe you take a Brazeau out and you put like a Hinostroza because maybe there's a little bit more offense there and you might be able to create something. Don't know if that's the right play because I do think physicality has been effective. It's just sticking with it. The hit numbers for the Wild have gone down from game 1 kind of on. And despite the fact they're still out hitting Vegas, it was a priority early and it worked early. And with it working, it wasn't just the hits. It was everybody in a Wild sweater was on top of every loose puck, and they just basically smothered the Knights. And now, having not been so aggressive on the forecheck and on bodies, second support hasn't been on that loose puck or on their outlet, and it's changed a little bit. And Vegas has been able to pick up a little speed through the neutral zone. They've been able to make some plays, and Jack Eichel's come to life and different things like that. So I don't know if taking the big guys out is the right answer. It might be doubling down, saying, hey, guys, for a while, pretend there isn't a puck, hit everything you see. But lineup changes, maybe Zeev. I think Gus is in net, and I think the only forward that has a sniff to get in is Hinostroza, and that'd be in place of like a Brazeau just to simply get more offense.
Yeah, I agree. It'd be interesting. I had this is just a fan comment. I think tomorrow night at the X, right? A buddy of mine texted me because they were showing all these crowd shots in Florida, Winnipeg, and everybody in the building is wearing a jersey. And now they've won the cup, and so that makes sense in Florida and some of those places, Tampa. But he was saying, you can tell something about the fan base in Minnesota. A lot of times they go to games in plain clothes. It's almost like were you at the Wild game? Yeah, maybe, and I think for tomorrow night, man, I think it's put it all on. I think it's jersey up.
The Christmas colors.
Jersey up. I think this is like, let's be fully committed. Let's let jersey up. Like, yeah, my heart's on my sleeve. You guys decide what you want to do with it. And yeah, I think it's time to put on the war paint and get the jersey on, and you're not taking the Claudia ring and switching which side it is depending on the day. Like, let's get in there.
I'm going to take a different stance from you right now too.
And I know people in Minnesota don't wear jerseys to hockey games, but like, I think it's time. Game 6, like, let's jersey up.
I think it's bring the kids. I think it's bring the kids to this one, but jersey
because it's going to be okay.
No, because they're the next fan. They're the next generation of Wild fan, and let's show them how to be wild and crazy fans. Like, teach them how to be there in that spot. Don't be reserved. Full send. Put on your jersey. Swing by Tom Reed's. Have a couple pops, get them some chicken tenders, and show them what it's like to be a Wild fan. Rip the roof off that place and let the kids see it so that the next generation of Wild fans now know how to behave in these spots.
I feel like your daughters are already going to the game. Is you trying to cover your tracks?
They're not.
I don't know. I don't know about kids, but I like what you're doing there. I just think, yeah, face paint, let's just win. We'll deal with it after that.
All right. So before we go, just give me a couple things why you think it can happen. Gus has been the best goalie. I'll go, and they might be the same, but Gus has been the best goalie in this series.
Yeah,
if he can somehow get an IV right now. He needs to get an IV, lay down, 10 toes up, show up tomorrow, and pretend like nothing ever happened. No pressure. Forget Game 5. Come out, be good. Kaprizov has been the best player in the series. I want him to tuck his jersey into the bat pad and leave it out the entire game. If that happens, boom, I think they're good. And then Matt Boldy continue to be just the version of Matt Boldy he's been, but I do think we need an Eriksson Ek sighting. There needs to be a snot bubble goal.
On the score sheet, Eriksson Ek. Yeah, he's been a good player, but yeah, he's got to contribute offensively. We've had it on the bingo card so many times,
Max banged up too, so give the guy some credit. He took a maintenance day, the practice day here. I think he's fighting through some stuff. I don't know if it's the same stuff, but he looks like there was one penalty kill last game where I think he was out there 90 seconds, and you could tell like he was hurting from something. I don't know if he blocked another shot or what it was, but he's battling through something. So we'll give him a little bit of grace. But it's those type of heroic moments that I think might spark a 7 and maybe a round 2.
Want to see the D score, like we've been talking about every single game, trying to get a couple points from the D. And I don't think we're done hearing from Mr. Hartman.
Right.
I would not hate if he had the winning goal. He just does it again because this is not a fluke. We're watching the body of work. There's been multiple playoffs. Hashtag playoff guy. Go ahead and get that burned into your forearm, Ryan, because you've earned it.
And we're rooting for a lot of things here, just for the record. We need the Wild to win Game 6.
Yep.
And if we have a Game 7, we need a lot of Game 7s. Otherwise, it's only the national broadcast because I want to get back to Vegas and do that Game 7. So
Yes.
we need a lot of Game 7s.
Well, they were all 2 and
we'll
2.
lose them to the national if there's only 2 Game 7s. We'll lose them. Or 1 or 2, we'll lose it. FanDuel won't be able to do it. So
it's very Vegas to want a bunch of 7s. Just so I think that we can get behind that.
7-7-7.
So we need 3 7s on the jukebox. We need Joe's fever dream to come to life.
Yep.
And it's time to jersey up and get those hearts on your sleeve
We're here.
till it's here.